man, one giant leap for Mein Kampf. Apollo 1969, Neil Armstrong. Since 1957, billions of dollars were spent on space race. At that time, it was meant for bragging between the United States of America and the Soviet Union. But oddly, even after the collapse of the Soviet Union, countries still pour a lot of money, time, and effort on space adventures. And the logical questions that normal people would ask are, why? What's the point? Shouldn't we solve all Earth problems before we jump to space? We still have homeless people. We still have diseases untreated. We still have people dying from hunger. Do you know that since the first space mission until now, more than 57 million people died because of hunger? 10 million of them were from the Soviet Union during the space period. Isn't this an example of bad resource management? Did we even benefit from all these wasted billions? What a waste. So I asked all these questions to Mr. Google. And Google managed to convince me and math me out of my beliefs out of 2 points of view. Cost-wise and beneficial-wise. So let's start with benefits. A lot of the technologies and the equipment that we use in a daily basis are a result of space agency studies. For example, the medical sector has the lion's share of these benefits. Do you know that the thermometer the doctor uses to measure the child temperature was invented by NASA to measure star radiation? Robotic prosthetic arms and legs uses NASA's expertise in that field. They even manufactured an artificial heart that runs on battery, which can save the patient life until he finds a donor. And do you know that baby's powdered milk was a result of NASA studies to develop a food that is suitable for traveling long distance? So they managed to invent a substitute for mother milk, which is nowadays used in 90% of artificial baby's powder. Industrial field was also improved by NASA studies, from the heat insulation of buildings and windows to solar power generator to microwave, which is used in food cooking, searching for underground water, communication, and checking the safety of airplanes, trains, railways, to plasma TV, GPS, color-changing glasses, contact lenses, water filters, and running shoes, and a lot more inventions, which we use in a daily basis, are a result of space agency studies. So after all what I have mentioned now, somebody might still say that we spend too much money on space adventures. But let me tell you this. In the beginning of 2012, the worldwide budget of space agencies did not exceed $31.2 billion. 19.5 billion of them were for NASA only. I know it sounds huge, but it's actually equivalent to 0.5% of the United States budget. And these budgets increase by 1% or less every year. This number seems pretty low if you compare them to the military expenses all over the world. At the end of 2010, the worldwide expense of military exceeded $1,630 billion. 42% of them were for the United States only. So in fact, they are spending 40 times more on war than what they spend on space. And the shocking and sad information is that this percentage increases by 5% every year. To me, that's a waste. So, me, myself, and I are convinced that we should not stop conquering the space. and we should solve all the problems we face up there, so we can use that solutions and solve all the problems we have down here. And there is no better closure for this subject better than what a wise and brave man once said: to infinity